Think I got it. We're good to go. Well, welcome council staff, visitors, and those joining us on our YouTube channel. I'll call this meeting of order for the Committee of the Whole meeting of November 12th at 9:01. So just before we get on to item 2, His Worship has asked for a quick comment. So Mayor Walker, turn it to you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just wanted to introduce a couple of new staff members that have joined us recently. First, we have Sarah Holden, and Sarah is our Development Services Assistant. And Sarah started with us on October 20th. Sarah, could you give us a little wave?
Hi.
Welcome. And just as a side note, I had the pleasure of working with Sarah when we were both with the town of Midland, so I know we got a real good one. Secondly, we have another Sarah, Sarah De Lima. Sarah is our GIS technician. She's under a one-year contract with us, and she started on October 27. Sarah, could you give us a wave? There we go. So welcome to both of you. I'm sure you'll enjoy it at TAY, and we're very happy that that you chose us to start with. So thanks so much. Thanks, Deputy Mayor. Back to you.
Thanks, Mayor. Welcome, Sarah. Sarah, at least we've got the same name. So for us older folks here on the council, we should be able to remember your name. So again, welcome. So we'll jump to approval of the agenda, the resolution that the Committee of the Whole agenda for November 12, 2025 be approved. And I have it moved by Mayor Walker, seconded by, let's see, Councillor Raymond. All those in favor? And that is carried. Disclosure of interest. Is there any member that has a disclosure of interest? Not seeing any. Should you recognize a disclosure, you can get with the clerk later in the meeting. So next we have presentations. 4.1, Bill Lorimer from the Lomax Group, re the Tay Township Fire Master Plan. Welcome, Bill. I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Thank you, Your Worship and Council, for allowing us to present. The Lomax Group presented the community risk assessment probably about 6 months ago. We did that in person, and now it's time to present the Fire Master Plan. The community risk assessment is a foundation of the Fire Master Plan. I believe, if you don't mind, there we go, Katie, thank you. Next slide, please. So we have a presentation that's about 10 to 15 minutes long. It's just a general high-level overview of the Fire Master Plan. The guiding principles that we used was what is the best protection services, fire protection services for the safety of the firefighters in Tay Township, and also what is the best fire protection services for the safety of the residents. What are the most cost-effective fire prevention or protection services for Tay Township? Which fire protection services will help Tay Township avoid unnecessary future costs? And let the facts guide our decisions and recommendations. Next slide, please. We also use the 3 lines of defense, which is very common in the province. First, we look at public education, and then fire code and enforcement, and then fire suppression. Next slide, please. Very similar to the community risk assessment or the CRA, we had a startup meeting. We met with stakeholders. We collected data. We analyzed that data. We created a draft, which we provided to the chief, and then we provided the final report. I'm not going to read, excuse me, I'm not going to read all these, the sections, but these are examples of the different sections that we put information into for your fire master plan. Next slide, please. We also had stakeholder engagements with the mayor, with the CIO, with the fire chief, deputy, and members of the fire department. Next slide, please. These are the key findings. Overall, the firefighters believe they have a strong and responsive leadership team. We agree with that observation. The leadership team and the fire services are dedicated to their duties and to the community, as such, there is a high morale within the organization. The fire chief and council have taken steps to ensure that the Tain Township Fire Department is well equipped to complete emergency operations. Next slide, please. The current challenges: Tain Township Fire Department is experiencing types of recruitment and retention challenges that commonly affect fire departments that rely on volunteer personnel. The personnel who hold officer positions have limited opportunities for leadership training, conflict resolution training, and professional development. Next slide, please. Summary of recommendations. We made 28 recommendations for council to consider. These recommendations focus on several key topics such as recruitment and fire station renovations. The recommendations are designed to prioritize the safety of local residents and firefighters. And the recommendations are all within Tain Township's means to implement, and they include ways for Tain Township to act proactive or cost effectively whenever possible. So these are the themes. They're not quotes from the Fire Master Plan. Tain Township should ensure that the fire stations are compliant with accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, or the AODA. Next slide, please. Bylaws and service levels. Tain Township should revise its ENR bylaw for the following reasons: to align with any changes made to Tain Township Fire Department services as a result of the Fire Master Plan's recommendations, and to add references to NFPA standards as they relate to fire services. Recruitment, retention, and also attendance. Tain Township should continue to develop or implement a variety of new platforms to run the recruitment campaign. In the Fire Master Plan, there's about 10 bullets that are listed there for suggestions or ideas. Tain Township should consider the suggestions listed in the Fire Master Plan related to the following aspects of the fire department: recruitment, retention, attendance, and firefighter mental health. Occupational health and safety. Tain Township should consider adding the following programs, which are proactive cancer screening program and a fitness program. Cancer is quite common within the fire service. Fire prevention. Tain Township should develop a cost-effective public education policy, formalize the use of technology for the collection of pre-incident planning data. Pre-incident planning is being able for firefighters to have information about specific buildings before or while they're at an emergency, so that they can manage the incident safer and more effectively. Develop a smoke alarm, carbon monoxide alarm campaign. Training and certification. The Tay Township Fire Department should investigate ways to deliver more hands-on and scenario-based training to firefighters. Continue to ensure that personnel who perform technical rescue services are certified to the appropriate standard of NFPA 1006. For some technical rescue services, this level of certification is required under Ontario Regulation 34322. Response. The fire chief should establish a response standard for the Tay Township Fire Department based on NFPA 1720, then present to council for approval. Establish automatic aid agreements with neighboring fire departments to improve response times and coverage. I should also mention NFPA is National Fire Protection Association, and Ontario uses this as a standard. Some are legislated and some are recommended. Fire department structure. The fire chief should develop a formal succession planning or plan for the Tay Township Fire Department. Fire station facilities. Tay Township should implement a 10-year infrastructure plan to upgrade all of its fire stations. Upgrades should include expanded apparatus bays, decontamination area, generators, security systems, inclusive facilities, training classroom space, and priority should be given to address issues at the station of Wabashine and Port McNicoll. Water supply. Tay Township and the fire chief should install reflective rings on all municipal fire hydrants and retrofit existing hydrants with STORTS connections to improve visibility, compatibility, and response efficiency. So this is referring to being able to get more water out of a fire hydrant. Implement a formal program to ensure private hydrants are inspected, tested, and maintained in compliance to the Ontario Fire Code. Asset management. Tay Township and the fire chief should consider acquiring portable radios with a Mayday button to improve firefighter safety and communication. Purchase a year-round off-road vehicle with an enclosed cab, 4 doors, and a Stokes transport area for a remote response. A Stokes transport area is more like a portable stretcher that a patient could lie on while being transported. Develop a financial plan for replacing legacy automobile extrication equipment, formerly known as JAWS or and as such, with modern tools. Usually these tools are lighter and more portable, and some are battery operated. Any questions or comments?
Thanks, Bill. Maybe we'll just take down this and we'll get, there we go. Well, thanks very much, Bill. That's great. Chief, do you have anything for you before we open up to council?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. If council wouldn't mind obviously asking any questions they have, we'll take this for information at some point early in the new year. I'll return to council with a comprehensive report as how we would implement any of these recommendations.
Thanks, Chief. So we'll open it up to any questions of council for Bill. I'm not seeing anybody. Bill, looks like you get off easy. Thank you ever so much for the plan. Lots of dollar signs I can see coming forth, but it is what it is these days, and ensuring our residents stay healthy. So, Bill, I'm sure the chief will be back with you for any follow-up. And again, thank you very much for the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll move on to item 4.2. We have Jennifer Schneier, Director of Sustainability, Georgian Bay Township, and Trish Walton, Communications and Sustainability Officer for Georgian Bay Township, Port Severn Honey Harbor Food Bank. Not seeing them. I believe they're both here. So Jennifer,
Good morning.
there you are.
Can you see me okay?
Yep.
Okay, good. I'm actually in San Francisco this morning and the sun hasn't come up, so it's quite dark where I am. Nonetheless, we're very excited to have had an opportunity to meet with you today about the food bank. And I want to introduce to you my dear colleague, Tricia Walton, who is on this call. And she's really the expert when it comes to what happens at the food bank. I just want to give a little hello to Mayor Walker and Councillor Larmond, because I know you all from another life. So I'm very excited to see you all here. Anyways, I'll pass it over to Tricia, and I'm sure that she will be able to answer all of your questions. And I'm here on standby.
Thanks, Jennifer. Trish?
Good morning, Mayor. Sorry, I'm just kind of still in the midst of a really bad cold. This is not normally how I sound. If we have our presentation available, or do you want me to share my screen?
I can share mine if that was better for you.
That would be great. Sorry, just coughing up a lung here. Okay, so we're here today just to talk about 3 years ago, we took over the food bank from the district just to kind of give more of like a down-home service to save some costs from the township of Georgian Bay. After 3 years of operating, we've come up with Let's Eat Away Hunger in our community and beyond, because we ask them where they're from, but then we don't turn anybody away. And I'll get more into that. Just to give you some like fast facts, over a quarter of the population is going hungry right now in Canada, and that's about 10 million people. To put that into perspective for you, it's these numbers. So this is a similar presentation that I made to our council just a year ago, and the numbers have increased 2.5% since that time. So when I went to go do this report, I was like, I knew it was happening, but it was shocking and very upsetting, actually. Next slide. 1 out of 3 children use food bank throughout Canada. That's 2.5 million children. We service currently approximately 19 children from our area, and then MacTier has about 45. Next slide. So each year since we took over, so I do have some stats from the 2018 to 2022, which is when it was operated through the district and the Baxter Ward Lions Club. But since then, our numbers have steadily increased. And at first we thought it was just due to the pandemic and that people were trying to still recover from that. But it seems each year there is still a steady incline. And we see now, like, we started servicing 13 households, and we now service upwards of 46 households. Next slide. So just these are my last, so October 23rd was my last food bank date. That day, confirmed in and out, we had 33 households, 19 children, 13 individuals that identify as seniors, and 6 single parent households. Our food bank only services like the southern part of Georgian Bay, so the Port Severn Honey Harbor area, because MacTier has its own food bank operated by volunteers. Next slide. So this is where it kind of gets down into why are we talking to you? Well, we've noticed that we do service because, again, I'm not going to let a family go hungry. And as part of our Feed Ontario application, and to get a designation as being like a top food bank, we can't turn anybody away. It doesn't matter on their income. We don't ask anything to do with that. We also when I do ask, it's just for statistic purposes. Sorry. What? Can everybody hear me okay? Because it doesn't get any louder than this. Okay, good. So you can see here that 11 households are from Tay Township. Mostly, I want to say the all tucked in transient, and then a Wabashine area is very highly serviced from our food bank. We do service 18 households from Port Severn. So what are we doing? So this is just kind of give you like an overall of kind of how we conduct our service. You can move to the next slide. So we've developed relationships with our residents or with our patrons that come to the food bank. I know their life stories. They are fully willing to tell them at any time. They just want to be heard. Next slide. And then we work with local groceries. So we're luckily, our area is so difficult because we don't really have like a all year round grocery store. So I do get things from the No Frills or Walmart out of Midland. Willing to work with partnerships in Victoria Harbor and stuff like that too. I just haven't really benched out that way. But we have been working with the Honey Harbor General Store on a regular basis, and they have donated upwards of $5,000 a year of food. And it's, at the end of the season or at the beginning of the season, canned, frozen, baked goods, meat, all sorts of stuff, and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of food. Next slide. So on our monthly right now, so we used to serve bi-weekly, and it just became, it was a lot. And also it was breaking our budget. So we provide fresh fruit and fresh vegetables, a fresh produce option, milk and eggs, and cheese and lunch meat and bread. And then they get to choose from our pantry items of cereal, oatmeal, canned vegetables, soups, canned meats. Hygiene products are provided by the Baxter Ward Lions Club. And we also provide children's school snacks. And then whatever else is kind of coming in or on sale, we try to do as much as possible with stuff like that. Next slide. This is also another part. We just recently learned about the community cupboard in Wabashine. And one of our Lions Club members has been trying to fill that weekly. And we do provide stuff as much as possible. As you can see here, she just filled it up with stuff that was donated from our food bank to this cupboard, because we do know we have a wide variety of people that live in Wabashine that even, transportation is an issue. They can't get to us. So maybe we can help them in any way we can. We've started helping them that way. So our volunteer from Wabashine that volunteers for the Baxter Ward Lions Club brings and stocks this on a weekly basis, and she says it's empty every time she goes. So we don't have an exact number because there's no really way to calculate it, but she's thinking it like, unless it's just one person weekly, emptying it completely out, which she doesn't feel that that's the way it is. So next slide. So we took this on as a sustainability scope, just kind of looking at like how can we help create a sustainable residence and give back to our community and create a sorry, just give me a second.
Let me jump in for you, Trish.
Create a better scope for our food bank. So our municipality does financially fund this on an annual budget, and we are in the process of developing a food recovery program, which is what we do with the Honey Harbor General Store. Unfortunately, the No Frills in Midland is already tapped out, as they provide for 5 other food banks in the Midland Penetang area. We generate awareness campaigns just to let people and residents know like how dire we are in our area, and we need the support. So we are always telling people, we're always doing reports and writing letters and stuff like that. So We also have worked with Bear Paws, Pentel for our backpack campaign, which I'll get onto later. And we also partner with our community groups like the Baxter Ward Lions, as I've mentioned before, and our community garden out front of the Port Severn Library or community services building. Minimum provides 20%, but in the last 2 years has provided at least 80%. And that looks like about 300 pounds of food every year. Next slide. This is just mentioning, like, over the last 3 years, the Honey Harbor General Store providing $7,500 worth of product, various items like frozen vegetables, desserts, beverages, canned food, juices, and all sorts of lunch snacks and baked goods. Next. We offer different fundraising programs, so you can kind of skim through these if you want to go faster. So our first one is the annual toy drive. We've been able to provide children from Wabashine to MacTier with a toy or a gift from 0 to 18. And this has been fantastic. And I just want to mention there is a really fantastic group in Tay Township who helps and has done more than help, but like provide. Like it makes me tear up every time I pick up from them, and they're fantastic to deal with. And they were first to reach out to me, and a huge shout out to them. Every time I ask them, like, can I recognize you? They're like, no, we don't want that. So I'm sure you guys know within the community who that is. And we are forever grateful for the things that they do for us. So thank you for that. Next slide. Slaying Hunger. So this is our matching campaign. We have a resident within Port Severn who annually, since we took over, has said, if we can keep the food bank on the budget and keep supporting our community, this family will also in turn continue to support the food bank. And he's like, they had suggested that we start a matching campaign, and each year it's gone up. So it started at 10,000. Last year went up to 15,000. This year we're at 25,000. They will match up too. And we're pushing it. We're pushing hard. So next one. And so we decided to do the same thing for MacTier. As we know, like the township provides a grant money towards them when they apply. So, but they're not managed by the township. So any which way I can do to help them and increase their bank account too, because we know that it's growing. So next slide. So we do a fill a backpack campaign, and last year this season, September, we provided 45 backpacks. These are all filled with different pencils and school snacks and all the supplies you need for back to school. And we've done this for the last 3 years, and it's very well received in our community. And we receive lots of donations, including ones from Bear Paws and Pentel Canada. So we couldn't do any of this. I would be completely tapped out if we did not have our Baxter Ward Lions Club, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with them as they operate within your community as well. And they are fantastic. The amount of money that they have raised for us, the amount of hours that they have put in, I cannot even stress enough how important and impactful this little group is to our communities. So what's next? What do I need from you is basically how this goes. We're looking to have financial support as our budget is running out. I think you can slide through this. Being that we do service a lot of people from the Tay Township, and I don't know what the reason is for that. Some of them, I know that there's a food bank in Victoria Harbor, and some people felt uncomfortable going there. And I don't know whether it's the church atmosphere of it that makes them uncomfortable, or what the stand is, but that's the feedback that we've been receiving. So there are quite a few food banks and networks within our area, and we are working closely with Simcoe Muskoka District Health Unit and trying to establish kind of like a better support system within Simcoe and Muskoka so that we can work together. Next. So what we do have is we do run a program all the time. It's on our website We can donate. We're constantly looking for items, and you can always reach out to me if you want to volunteer or if you'd like to get involved in any other way, like helping out with campaigns. We have one volunteer who contacted last year and was like, I really want to be involved, but I don't have the time to dedicate. So she organizes when she's got time off she organizes a lot of fundraisers, and she did in Port Severn at the Port Severn General Store this past year. They did the Fill a Truck campaign, which raised over $600 and almost 2,500 pounds of food. And it was amazing. I think I'm still going through some of the pasta and pasta sauces for people. So that's it. That's all I have. I do have answers to some questions that I'm sure you're going to have, which are, why should municipalities take this on? Well, because municipalities are the closest to their residents. We know what's going on in the community. We see it firsthand. Most of you live in the community that you work in. It means recognizing that social infrastructure sustains our communities. And it's just the same as if you're putting money towards a rec center or recreation programs, stuff like that. And we're here today to help build this partnership to grow. It's not just our community. It's not just our residents. It's all across Ontario. It's all across Canada. It's all across North America. Hunger is an issue, and we need to take responsibility, whoever can. That's it.
Your worship, we just want to clarify, we are looking for a $10,000 commitment from Tay Township for the next 3 years. And the reason why we're looking for a 3-year commitment is because this is a very active, robust food bank. And we want to feel confident that we can then report back to you in the next council where we are at to reassess. But as Tricia has identified, the numbers do keep going up. And so there's no hesitation to suggest that by the time we return to you in 3 years, that the need will have grown and possibly the request will be a little bit higher. However, right now we feel with the support that our residents have shown and the good work that Tricia has done to not just stand by and let this happen, but be proactive. We are ready to talk to municipalities to see and help you understand the situation that we're faced with. Tricia did mention that it's possible reason why people are not going to the food bank in Victoria Harbour. It could also be about transportation, that the closest food bank is us in Port Severn, especially if the residents are at one of the motels along the highway, and they can carpool in a group and come collectively. It's very interesting to us that the municipality has agreed to support the sustainability of the food bank, but it is remiss of us not to suggest that we cannot support residents that are outside of our tax base. We do support them right now, because these residents, because we are in, as Tricia mentioned, huge partnership with the Baxter Ward Lions, as I'm sure Councillor Larmont can confirm. Those residents we don't turn away, because we know behind the scenes that there is support for all 3 municipalities in the back pocket of the Baxter Ward Lions. However, it's unfortunately not enough. So we're here today to request this amount. Now, we're not unfamiliar with how delegations work, and that there will not be a resolution attached to this unless, of course, there is a staff report. But if there is any way that we can help move the needle forward to get into your 2026, 7, and 8 budget, Your Worship, it would truly be a blessing to be able to partner with you.
Well, thank you, Jennifer, Trish. Great presentation. I'll concur. There's a major issue right across, as you indicated, North America for food. I'll open the floor for any question from council. Mayor Walker.
Jennifer, nice to see you again. Are you in San Francisco for a football game?
No, knowing who my brother is, that would not be allowed. But no, I'm here for another reason. I'm delighted to see that the sun is finally coming up because it was a little bit dark when we started this meeting.
I just have one question, and it's to Trish. Trish, you mentioned the toy program in Tate Township. Where do you go to get those toys? Do you go to the fire hall? Okay, I just wanted to make sure that it was the same one, and I just wanted to confirm that's from Thompson Terminals, and they have confirmed that they will be doing it again this year. Haven't got the date yet, but if you've been in contact with them before, they'll let you know that date.
Yes, through your worship. Yes, I have been in contact with them. They are, again, doing what they can, and
Yep.
stress the point as well that, and we see it across the board. Donations are down. We see it, like people are struggling right now, and it's a real concern. So, yes, and I am forever grateful for them and that community of volunteers. And it's always the top 10 people in the community that do these things. You have your community champions. So I'm really excited to work with them again this year.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Deputy Mayor.
Thanks, Your Worship. Any other questions from council? Not seeing any. Well, Jennifer, Trish, again, thank you very much for bringing it forward to council. It's definitely made an awareness to the general public. Hopefully, even the general public can step in and help you out along with the Lions Club. We appreciate all the great work you do, especially in these times. So, again, thank you for attending today, and we'll give your requests consideration, I'm sure, at the budget meeting. So thanks again, Trish, Jennifer.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Okay, we'll move on to item 5, Protective and Development Services, the staff reports. I'm going to have Councillor LaChapelle chair this section. Councillor Raymond thought he may have to step out. So, Councillor LaChapelle.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Moving on to item 5.1. We have a PDS 2025-042 Manager of Planning and Development Service re-extension of draft plan approval for Skyline Cargill Pier Subdivision draft plan approval, file number TA 201201. I have a recommendation as moved by Councillor Talbot, seconded by Councillor Bumstead. That item, PDS 2025-0242, dated November 12, 2025, regarding extension of a draft plan approval for Skyline Cargill Pier Subdivision draft plan approval, file number TA-T2012-01 be received. That the draft plan approval for Skyline Pier Subdivision be extended for additional 5 years with a new lapsing date of January 15, 2031. Mr. Manager of Planning, Mr. Weatherall, anything further to add?
Thanks, Councillor. Nothing further to add.
Members of council, any comment, discussion? Deputy Mayor.
Yeah, just one question, just to the manager. What's the overall cost for a developer to ask for an extension? Is there any cost from his part and one from ours?
Through the chair to Deputy Mayor Norris, an application for draft plan and subdivision extension is $2,500 for the applicant. Our cost is basically just staff time to write a report and prepare any revised conditions if needed.
Okay.
Mayor Walker.
Thank you, Councillor LaChapelle. I'm torn on this. It seems to me that that's been sitting there for years and years and nothing's happening, and we're running into issues with capacity and things like that in the harbor. I know it's not the same in port, but it could be at some time. I would suggest that any extension we give be noted that it's the final, and that it not be that it be for as short a period as our a manager would recommend, like 2 years, 3 years, whatever that short period is, because we need to get, and there's other reasons I'm saying that some of you may know as well, but enough is enough. Thank you.
Any further comments, Councillor Talbot?
There you go. Hooker. Sorry about that. Through the chair, I too agree with Mayor Walker on that. That that it's gone on and on and on. So these developers, they buy the land, but they don't do much with it, as we've seen year after year. So I agree with you, Mayor Walker, that the time limit has to be shortened, and definitely let them know that it's time. There's proof in the pudding. Let's get on with it.
Any further comments? Councillor Raymond.
Thank you. Through the chair, I'm just curious if this is not something, a policy we should create where we just put, a 10-year limit on these things once we do sign the initial one, rather than keep extending and extending. I just don't know what's the better idea. But all in all, I agree with His Worship. Yeah, I think we should get something done on this. Thank you.
Yeah, just a comment before I go to Mr. Weatherall, and I understand, Paul, sometimes economics and trends of the world right now dictate how developers move forward. I do concur with Mayor Walker, and before I allow Mr. Weatherall to speak to it, do we assume that when you say reduction, Mayor Walker, that we're looking at least 3 years? You do want to downsize from 5 years to a number? Is that correct?
Yes, I was thinking like 5. I was thinking more like 2, but Mr. Weatherall can provide advice in that regard. There may be some reason why we wouldn't want to do it for 2, but
correct. Okay, Mr. Weatherall, please.
Thank you, Chair. The applicant is they requested 3. I was suggested 5, just on the fact that the ownership the applicant is looking at, basically has a list of investors to take over ownership of the property. Obviously, they have some concerns that they have to do before they move forward with the ownership, as we all know what that is. The 3-year time frame is suitable. That's typically what we do for plan of subdivisions. The 5-year was recommended that by the time the ownership changes hands, they deal with other matters outside of planning. They come in for basically red line revision because they want to look at altering the design of the property. Next, 2 years has probably gone by. I'm not opposed to 3 years. That's the standard that we've done in the past. We've done 5 years for our subdivisions in Victoria Harbor based on the sewage plant capacity issue. So as Mayor Walker said, Port doesn't really have that issue right now. So up to council's decision, but 3 has been typically what has been approved in the past.
If I may, before I go to Councillor Raymond and Mr. Weatherall, in the 3-year time period, will that be justified for the fact of cleaning up the house that exists now? There is a lot of outstanding issues within the present development that will take time to correct. And I think if we can correct a lot of these, and I don't want to really be specific, but I think we all realize, there's some outstanding issues that faces today with the Cargill. So I could see supporting the 3 with the understanding a lot of these issues that are outstanding are resolved. And I guess that will happen prior to the new ownership taking over. Is that correct?
Thank you, Chair. If I had a crystal ball, I wish all the issues would be settled in 3 years, but I'm not sure if that's the case, but 3 years would seem reasonable.
Councillor Raymond.
Thank you. Through the chair, sort of a follow-up as well. I mean, do we have to extend it at all? One of the concerns I have is the original plans was brought to my attention. They've been in there for years. Odds are that when someone comes in, they're going to change something. They have to do all kinds of new approvals. Do we gain anything by just saying no? I'm just curious. Thank you.
I can answer that, but I'll let Mr. Weatherall speak to that one.
Through the chair to Councillor Raymond. The township doesn't technically gain any advantage of denying or making the subdivision lapse. The policies support development. By extending this, basically, it still allows them to do a red line revision, which basically is redesign the property without going through all the application process, circulation processes. So in hindsight, it doesn't really help the township because the township wants development to occur in settlement areas.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Weather. Any further comments before I just kind of make a quick directive to Mr. Weatherall on this? Seeing none, would the council, be comfortable with the 3-year as Mr. Weatherall suggested? Mr. Mayor Walker, like to speak? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Ashenbell. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's the manager is comfortable with that. But I still think we need something on there that don't come back again, because we're not going to renew it again. I know it doesn't do us any benefit, but it sure is going to cost them money if they have to go through all these other studies. They don't get something done. We just have to get them off their cans and get something done over there. And there's other financial implications as well that I'm not going to go into here, but there's been a real lack of support or municipal support by that group. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you.
So thank you, Mayor Walker. So Mr. Weather, I think the directive is yes, do a 3-year extension, subject to some conditions that do spell that this could be the end of the term, that they have to be some kind of responsibility to do their homework, get it all done, so that after 3 years it becomes null and void.
Oh, I'm gonna let Katie
message I'm
speak
getting.
first, but then I can comment on that, Councillor.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Sounds good.
Todd,
Any other?
if you want to go first, you can. Just
Go ahead, Todd.
Okay, the planning allows for the applicant to request extensions. It's really up to council's decision whether they approve it or not. I don't believe we can put a clause in there that says this is their last go around.
Well then, okay, and I understand that. I was going to suggest that, but I think from a verbal aspect of it, I think with the request and we approval of the 3 years, is that our opinion, and I can believe to that it can be expressed through a little phrase, one-on-one, that this is it. I mean, you're right, it may not be on paper, but we can voice to the individual that enough's enough, and I think that we have that right to do that. Am I correct on that? No?
Whatever council wants to put on paper or verbally, then that's their right. I would just I'd be cautious.
Yeah, and I understand.
I would be cautious, but because typically, if they're doing work within those 3-year time frame, then next council may want to extend it, as long as there's progress being made.
Mayor Walker,
we're really bouncing around on this. I think it's 3 years, and if you can't put it in writing, Todd, that's fine. But you tell them verbally, you had a hard time getting this through.
That's it.
And if you come back in 3 years looking for an extension and some of those people are still there, your chances aren't very good.
And I concur. And that's what I was expressing. So be it. So I think directive has been given to Mr. Weatherall. So we'll proceed on to changing the recommendation, Madam Clerk.
thank you for you. Yes, the original mover and seconder are okay with the change from 5 years to 3 years. Then we can move on with a friendly amendment.
So I'm asking Councillor Talbot, Councillor Bumstead, you're okay with the suggested time frame from 5 to 3? And they are, so.
Yeah.
So recognizing that 5 changes to 3, I'm going to call this to vote. All those in favor? And that is carried. I thank you. Item 5.2, PDS 2025. My computer just disappeared. Hang on. Oh, it's back. PDS 2025-029, General Manager of Protective and Development Surface Fire Chief, CMMC retained surplus fire apparatus. So I have a mover, Councillor Larma, and seconded by Deputy Mayor Norris. That item, PDS 2025-29 dated November 12th, 2025 regarding the retention of surplus fire apparatus be received, and that council approve the retention of a surplus pumping apparatus known as Pump 41, and that the apparatus may be operated by the training purpose and stored by Southwest Fire Academy, SFA, when not in use. That staff be authorized to enter into a memorandum of understanding with SFA related to the usage, storage, and maintenance of Pump 41 as outlined within PDS 2025-29. Fire Chief, anything to add, Sean?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing further to add, but here for any questions.
Questions from the floor from council? Seeing none, you call the vote. All those in favor? And that is carried. Move on to item 5.3. PDS 2025-043, Manager of Municipal Law Enforcement Service Monthly Activity Report. I have a recommendation that is moved by Councillor Bumstead, second by Councillor Lerman. That item PDS 2025-043 dated November 12th, 2025 regarding the monthly activity report, Municipal Law Enforcement Service, October 2025 be received. Anything further to add, Justin?
Thank you, Chair. Nothing further to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of council? Councillor Talbot.
Thank you through the chair. Jocelyn, I'd just like to say thank you for, the assistance that you've given me over the past week in regarding especially that bin that was down at the Port Nickel Legion. So I thank you for moving forward with that. Thank you.
Any other further comments from members of council? Seeing none, call the vote. All those in favor? And that is carried. Move on to item 5.4, PDS 2025-044, Chief Building Officials, Manager of Building Service Monthly Activity Report. I have a recommendation that is moved by Deputy Mayor Norris, seconded by Councillor Talbot. That item PDS 2025-044 dated November 12, 2025 regarding the monthly activity report, Building Service Division, October 2025 be received. Anything further to add, Jason?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing further to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from members of council? Seeing none, I'll call the vote. All those in favor? And that is carried. Item 5.5, PDS 2025-041, General Manager of Protective and Development Service, Fire Chief, CEMC Monthly Activity Report. I have a recommendation moved by Mayor Walker, seconded by Deputy Mayor Norris, that item PDS 2025-041 dated November 12, 2025 regarding the monthly activity report, General Manager, Protective and Development Service Fire Chief, CEMC, October 25 be received. Anything further to add?
No, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Any questions from members of council? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried. At this moment, I turn this back to you, Deputy Mayor Norris.
Thank you, Councillor LaChapelle, and well done, staff, on all their reporting. We'll jump into operational services, and I'll turn the meeting over to Councillor Larimore.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Norris. We have item 6.1, OS 2025-023, General Manager of Operational Services, Manager of Engineering, monthly activity report. I have a recommendation moved by Councillor Talbot and seconded by Councillor Raymond that reads that item OS 2025-023 dated November 12th, 2025 regarding the monthly activity report, operational services, October 2025 be received. Mr. Barrio, do you have anything to add?
The only thing I wanted to add was the unveiling of the Doc Talbot Way sign on Friday. Make sure all council and the public know that that is happening on Friday. I have nothing else at this time. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I will now open the floor to members of council for any comments or questions. Councillor Talbot.
Thank you, through the chair. I would just like to, extend, a big thank you to our GM Barrio for all his, dedication and how he was able to make that road into Talbot Park. And it didn't cost a fortune. Right? Like years ago, Councillor LaChapelle and I, we've been waiting for this to occur. And Sean, you made it happen. And I'm so proud to have such wonderful staff that have that force, the sight and move, they can see forward. And I have had so many people throughout our area just applaud the work that's been done there by all our staff. And anyway, my heart is warm for what you've done. Thank you.
Okay, I don't see any other hands up. I'll now call for the vote. All in favor? Thank you. Motion carried. Back to you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Larma, and I'll definitely echo Councillor Talbot's feelings there. Well done, staff. Great report. So we'll jump on to corporate services, and I'll turn the meeting over to Councillor Bumstead. Councillor Bumstead.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. And I want to apologize for joining the meeting late. I was having internet issues, so I had to quickly run out and brush snow off my satellite dish. Anyway, moving right along, 7.1 CS-2025-084, Deputy Treasurer, re-tax arrears registration process. I have a motion moved by Councillor Talbot, seconded by Councillor Larma, that reads that item CS-2025-084, dated November 12th, 2025, regarding tax arrears registration process be received, and that staff be directed to commence the tax arrears registration process for properties with 2 or more years of unpaid taxes, as outlined in Section 373 of the Municipal Act 2001, and that the applicable sections of the collection policy be updated to reflect the change from 3 years to 2 years, as further outlined in CS 2025-084, and that this policy change takes effect on January 1st, 2026. Emmy, do you have anything further to add to this report?
I think
Rebecca?
Rebecca will handle this.
Okay, go ahead, Rebecca.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to specify, when I say that it takes effect in 2026, that would be me notifying the individuals who are affected. It wouldn't be registering properties with 2 years in arrears. That would begin for the 2027 tax year. I have already notified properties that are eligible for 2026 registration based on 3 years. So that change would officially take effect in 2027. However, again, I would be notifying those properties who are affected beginning in 2026.
Thank you, Rebecca. Any questions, comments from council? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor.
Thank Councillor Bumstead. Well done, Rebecca. I think this gives the opportunity to property owners, instead of really getting hammered down, it'll bring it to the forefront, and hopefully we'll be able to continue helping them out with payments. So that's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Seeing none, I will now call the vote. All those in favor? Motion is carried. Item 7.2, CS-2025-085, Deputy Treasurer, redelegation of authority for tax applications relating to sickness or extreme poverty. I have a motion moved by Councillor Raymond, seconded by Mayor Walker, that reads that item CS-2025-085, dated November 12th, 2025, regarding the delegation of authority for tax applications relating to sickness or extreme poverty report be received, and that council delegates its authority for the processing of applications under Section 357(1)(d)(1) of the Municipal Act 2021 to the Assessment Review Board and that the appropriate bylaw be presented at an upcoming council meeting for consideration. Once again, Rebecca, do you have anything further to add?
Thank you, through you, Chair. Nothing further to add, but happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'll now open the, sorry, Councillor Talbot, go ahead.
Just thank you through the chair to Rebecca. Just a question. So if someone in our community finds that they need this assistance, do they contact you first, or and then you set it up, or how would this unfold for residents?
Yeah, so they could go one of two ways. They could come to me first and I could direct them on how to go about it, or I could submit that application, like start the kind of process for them, or they could go directly to the ARB. So we would put information on our website to inform them of how to properly apply.
Yeah, I think this is a wonderful, opportunity, because there are so many people at this time, maybe in that position. So do you have any time frame on how long it takes once the application is submitted as to the outcome?
Through you, it varies probably significantly depending on each circumstance, because the ARB would have to review significant documentation. So I really don't have an exact time frame on how long it would take the ARB.
Okay, so it's just depending on personal stuff that they submit. Okay, well, I think it's I'm glad that we have it out there for people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments from council? Seeing none, I will now call the vote. All those in favor? And that is carried. 7.3 CS-2025-081 Municipal Clerk, Library CEO, Reprocedure Bylaw Update. I have a motion moved by Councillor Lama, seconded by Deputy Mayor Norris, that reads that item CS-2025-081 dated November 12th, 2025 regarding the procedure bylaw update be received, and that the draft procedure bylaw attached hereto as Schedule 1 be presented at the next regular council meeting for council's consideration. Caitlin, do you have anything further to add?
Thank you, through you, Chair Bumstead. As you all know, our current procedure bylaw was passed originally in 2017 and has been amended multiple times over those eight years. So staff felt that it was a good time to start fresh. And so what you have here attached to Schedule 1 is what is recommended with amendments to do with procedural efficiency, as well as to reflect legislative changes such as strong mayor powers. I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone might have.
Thank you, Caitlin. Any questions or comment from council? Mayor Walker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have several questions or comments, I guess. Just starting with 24.6, where we get into the vote for vetoing the mayor's powers. I'm just wondering, Katie, I know you've done it later in the document, if you could spell out what that majority, it requires a majority, and that number is 5. Because I think every time we think of it, we're trying to do math in our heads. So if that could be spelled out somewhere there, if you think that's an appropriate spot. I know you do it later in the document. Let me just keep scrolling here. (27.4), and again, you reference this someplace else in the document, but it says, while presiding, the deputy mayor or the chairperson shall have all the powers of the mayor for the purpose of conducting the meeting. And I know that that does not include the strong mayor powers, and I don't know if it's just the way I'm reading it or if you think there should be something there. Yeah, and then on number 31.8, it says during a meeting, the mayor or other authorized presiding officer has the right to limit the number of delegations when in their opinion, the views are being repetitive and no new information is being brought forward. Would it be better to say speakers, or are you talking about stacking delegations on the same issue?
Thank you through you. Yeah, this was more to deal with formal delegations.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. And then, again, it could just be me. 36.5, it says the mayor shall be ex officio member of each committee and have the same rights as other committee members, including the right to vote. But earlier in the document, and it could be a different committee structure you're talking about, it says the mayor can speak but not vote.
Thank you for pointing that out. That looks like an error there, so I will fix that.
Okay. And then 36.9 talks about, I guess I'm just wondering if in there, should we have anything about ability for council to remove a member of a committee? So somebody isn't showing up to meetings or they're disruptive all the time. Do we have that power, or is it understood that we have that power?
I believe it's understood that we have that you have that power, but
Okay.
I definitely add clarification.
Yeah, or if you could just check and see if, I think I know what you're referring to. I just wanted to make sure that we were good there. It would be an awkward situation. I don't think we've ever had it, but and that's it. Thanks, Katie. Thanks, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mayor Walker. Any further comments or questions from council? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Norris.
That's great. I think some of those questions were answered already. Just a suggestion to you, Councillor Bumstead, that maybe before we go to the next item that we do take a bio break.
Mayor Walker, go ahead.
Sorry, Madam Chair, I forgot one. I didn't see any reference in there to dress code. Should we have something in there about dress code at council and committee meetings? I don't know.
I believe
Maybe I'm being old fashioned, but
I will look through your worship, but I believe there is reference to business casual dress, which is what was in our previous bylaw, but I will make sure.
okay, thank you.
Thank you. Is everyone in favor of a short 10-minute break? Okay, thank you. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
I think you have to vote on that before everybody disperses.
If we could just deal
Okay.
with this item prior to recess, that would be wonderful.
Sorry, what was that, Katie?
If we could just deal with this item prior to taking a short recess, that would be wonderful.
You mean 7.4? Or did I miss something?
No,
We still have to vote on
7.3. We just
7.3.
haven't taken the vote on 7.3.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, 7.3. Seeing no more questions, I will now call the vote. All those in favor? Thank you.
Thank you.
And do we need a vote to take a break?
I don't
No,
think so.
Okay.
No, you're
All
okay.
right. Okay, thank you.